Hello and welcome to your free workshop, Breaking the Rules. Today I'm giving you a 5-step framework that I really hope will change your life. I'm thrilled to see some of you joining, considering we had a few technical issues, or I did anyway. So if you can, in the chat, I'm just going to make it so that I can see the chat. I'm happy for this to be interactive. I'm happy for you to ask questions. Just give me a hello. Let me just do one thing. So today, let me introduce myself. Hello. Thank you. Hi, Jenna. That's lovely. Okay, so we're working. The chat's working. So feel free to participate. Feel free to ask questions. Feel free to, share with the exercises that I talk you through. But I want to start with saying, welcome. I'm Carly Ann. Let me just put the chat here so I can see you here. I'm an integrative therapist and coach, and really what I believe I'm here to do is to simplify key difficulties and factors that maintain issues with our relationships, with our mood, our anxiety, our self-esteem. And there's certain shifts that we can make that will make a really big difference to your happiness, to your confidence, to your sense of self. If you are here live, hello. And if you are here on replay, exactly the same to you as well. Before we get started, I do just want to share something. So this free workshop, what makes it even possible is that it's being sponsored by my 6-week signature course, Becoming Secure, which probably some of you have done, some of you have been on the fence about. And what I want this free workshop to do is to give you real insight for those of you that are going to take that leap to have me working alongside you for 6 weeks. So Becoming Secure does exactly what it says on the tin. Helps you move from feeling insecure, lost, or anxious in life and relationships to feeling more grounded, confident, and secure. And I see those results. 6 weeks to rediscovering yourself. And right now, there's an early bird offer until next Wednesday. But I am someone who, although this is here to promote a course, if you're going to give an hour of your time to better yourself, to work on yourself, then I want this to provide value for you. Your commitment is to be here. Your commitment is to take part and to gift yourself this time. And my commitment is to make sure that you walk away with value and with steps to help you manage your mood, your relationships, your self-esteem, your anxiety, whatever is the main difficulty for you at the moment, whatever the cycle is that you're stuck in right now. For the past 17 years, I've been helping people to change in some way, in some form. That has been my job, to help people to change their lives. That has been, some of you will know this depending on how long you have worked with me or known my work. That has been helping people to change from substance misuse issues. Other times it's been guiding people to move from anxious to secure attachment within their relationships and themselves, to help people strengthen their mental health, to build self-esteem that they never thought possible. And what I've learned along the way, which is where this workshop is really born, is that underneath all of those different difficulties, whatever people's goals are, whatever it is that you want to change, every single one of us carries our core wounds like a backpack. And these are the beliefs that we hold about ourselves that usually are not true. The ones that tell you that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve more, that you'll always be this way, that you're stupid, that you're not pretty enough, that you're something not enough. And they get triggered again and again and again. And they pull us back into old patterns. Now, what you're doing is focusing on the habit, the person, the situation. That's where your thoughts go. That's where your focus goes. That's where the obsession goes. Where I go is looking at what is the driving belief underneath that? What is it? What's the wound that gets opened up, the old patterns? Because These wounds, which we're going to identify today before we give you the 5-step framework, they shape what we tolerate. They shape what you settle for. They shape the chances that you never take for yourself. They shape the cycle that you are currently stuck in. And I see it all the time, all the time. People getting hooked, pulled off course, losing sight of what's important to them. You're here, you're doing the work. So I already know there's something unique about you. But I also know that perhaps, like many of the people that I work with, there's this head heart gap, perhaps. You know the logic, you have really good insight, you've read the books, you've listened to the podcasts, you're doing the workshops, and yet there's something not quite matching in terms of your behaviors and what you're feeling. If that is true, put a number 1 in the chat for me, whether you're live or replay. If that is true, that there is this head heart gap, you know the logic, you're intelligent, you're clever, you're ambitious. Yes, thank you, Jenna. Then yeah, put a number 1 in the comment box for me. What I really believe, and what I believe that I'm here to share, is that once we can notice those beliefs, we can see the invisible rules that keep us stuck. We begin to break free. We've got a lot to go through today, and recognizing the beliefs that hold you back, recognizing the rules that are running your life, just recognizing them before we even break them. We break them, we break free. But before we even break them, just recognizing them can be enough to regain your power, your confidence, yourself. I shared a video about this on YouTube the other day, and I absolutely loved this comment. Maybe you're watching this. They said, just watching this video has saved me from 2 days in bed. 2 days in bed. What I'm talking to you about today, what guides us, the beliefs, the wounds underneath, they often get us stuck in a spiral of worrying, or we're feeling so low we're going to spend 2 days in bed. Hello, hello, hello. Ethiopia. Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. That's really cool. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Najuma, is that right? Give me a thumbs up. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so I really want you to take a moment before we go even any further to just remember what your intentions are for being here. This workshop is about your future self. This is about you doing this for your vision, what's important to you. And throughout today, I want you to keep anchoring back to that. Throughout next week, throughout the next month, I want you to keep anchoring back to what is important to you, because that's what keeps us on track. So who's ready for a little bit more of a deep dive into those wounds, and then that 5-star? I'll go for that. A 5-step framework. Hopefully you'll feel it's 5-star when you leave. I believe you will. Ready, ready, ready. Oh, I love it. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you. Okay, get your pen and paper if you haven't already, because you're going to need it in a minute. Ready. Okay, if you're here on replay as well, give me a ready in the comments as well. I can riff on this bit for an hour, so I'm going to be really careful and I'm going to keep it brief. But something that you might have forgotten because of what you're going through in your life right now, or because where your focus is, where you're distracted, or most significantly, perhaps because of what you've been through in your life, you might have forgotten that you are inherently worthy as you are. You are likable, you are lovable, you are good enough. Even when life is not going to plan, even when the person that you like doesn't like you back, or they're in a mood, even when you don't get the job that you wanted, or someone else gets that promotion, you're lovable, you're likable, and you don't have to work as hard as you think you do to be lovable, to be likable, to be good enough in whatever way it is that you feel like you're not good enough. Because we all have our own areas, and that's where you need your pen and paper now. Your reactions, your big emotions, your acting out of character, acting like someone else, and then feeling full of regret, that desperate stage that you can find yourself in, they don't happen out of nowhere. It's not random, and it's usually not, when it's that kind of big reaction, it's usually not just about what's in front of you. It goes way deeper than that. Those core wounds I'm talking about. We all have those wounds, and we all have an area where we don't feel good enough. And that's why some of you might be like, it doesn't make sense. I've got great self-esteem at work. I'm really confident in relationships. But this area of my life, I really struggle. Maybe you feel like you really lack the confidence and the skills in relationships and connection, but at work, you're smashing it. We have areas that we don't feel good enough. At some point in our lives, it's almost like we got a sticker put on our heads that said, in some way, I'm not good enough. And this is going to be my wound throughout life. And whenever that gets triggered, I'm going to feel awful. And I'm going to talk you through in a minute. You won't want to miss this. Trust me, you will not want to miss this. I'm going to talk you through what happens when you actually get anxious. What happens? Why do you actually get really low in mood and stuck? Here comes the frog in my throat. So let me just check the comments. Okay, all good. We all have one or more areas, but I'm going to ask you to really focus. I guess no, actually, let's spread it out a little bit. You can do whatever feels good for you. I'm going to share that sticker on our head, common themes that I see across all of the people that I work with. I am boring. I'm stupid. I'm a failure. I'm ugly. I'm not good enough. I'm inferior. I'm never chosen. I am, or I am not. Other people are always going to leave me. Other people always see through me. Other people think I'm bad. Other people don't like me. Other people are happier than me. Other people get more than me. Take your pen and paper and just write down what comes up for you. What sticker have you been wearing on your head? That's not true, by the way. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. What's the sticker that you've been wearing? I am what? Now, if you can't think of it, you'll see in a minute maybe why that is. If you want to share in the comments, please do. What is yours? What's the sticker? What's the core wound? What's the painful point for you? Because every time there is a slight moment where you're going to feel like that is coming true, oh, it's going to hurt. Okay. Here's the thing. We have to cope in life. We can't go around every day, every single day, all the time, thinking these horrible things about us. We're going to feel awful all of the time. We have to find a way to cope. We have to find a way to get through. Can't go around, but we're not going to go around believing that 24/7 or having it actively. Somewhere deep down, we're believing it 24/7. But have it actively at the forefront of our minds, we'd never function. So we develop the rules for living, the rules that sound like the shoulds and must. So I'm going to show you this. If I believe, let's go with I'm not good enough. If I believe, okay, I'm not good enough, let's do it this way around. I am not enough. Okay, if I believe I'm not enough, I'm going to have to come up with a way to cope with this. I can't go around feeling that. It's too painful. I'll tell you what my rule will be, and we develop this. I should never make mistakes. I'm not good enough. So how do I cope with that? I come up with this rule. I should never make mistakes. If I believe I'm ugly, how am I going to cope with that? I know. I must always look perfect. See where I'm going with this? Yeah. So what does this mean? This means that if I don't look perfect, it means I'm ugly. It means if I ever make a mistake, I'm not enough. If I believe I'm only okay if I'm in a relationship, that means anytime I'm not in a relationship, I'm not okay. If I believe I only fit in if I get invited to every event, that means when I don't get invited to that event, I believe I don't fit in. What's the problem with this? Yeah, okay, great. I must always look perfect. I should never make mistakes. It's going to drive me. Okay, that's going to mean that I can feel good enough. But what's the problem with these hidden beliefs that we're all living by? It's things like this. That's the dangerous part. These rules are very rigid. They get generalized to everything. That's dangerous. It means we're going to break our rules or think we're breaking our rules all the time. And the times that we don't, I'm going to feel like I'm pretty enough. I'm going to feel like I'm good enough. Is that how we're going to live? So take a moment and write down your own shoulds and musts. If you've got your I am, whatever it is that you wrote down there, that sticker on your head, what are the shoulds and musts that you've come up with unconsciously that you have to meet in order to be okay, in order not to be that thing? And some of you wouldn't have even known that you were walking around with this. And here's for those of you that think that you're an anxious person, a negative person, someone that gets stuck in moods and can't control your emotions, there is so much more going on. What's really happening in those moments is you're believing the bad thing about yourself because your rules may be broken or have been broken. Your unrealistic rules, by the way. So this is the problem, is that these rules are not realistic. That is not flexible. Because we need some rules, right? Of course. But when they're like this, they're maintaining our anxiety. And let me tell you why. Okay? Because we cannot keep up with this kind of perfection. It's these kind of rules that keep us locked in our anxiety in our minds. And that's why I create things like Becoming Secure, because we've got to break free from these rules. And like I said, I'm going to give you that framework soon. I've got to keep reminding myself I started 15 minutes later. So actually, I'm not really behind. If these kind of rules keep you locked in your anxiety, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep living by other people's rules, by the way? Because usually they've been developed from what we've witnessed, what we've seen, what we've experienced. We're like prisoners in our own minds. And we don't even realize, because we're so busy trying to meet our rules, we wind up feeling anxious and really low. So a reminder that across all of these areas, some of the areas you'll be okay in, and some of them you're feeling really anxious. Some of them, some areas of your life you lack confidence and self-esteem. So let's look at those of you who find that you get in. So you're going to find probably that you fall into anxiety and or periods of low mood. And we're going to look at what's going on with both of them. And then you get your 5-step framework. But to be honest with you, this part is so important as well. You feel anxiety when your shoulds and musts might be broken. If I believe I'm a failure, so my rule is that I must never make a mistake, let's then say I have a presentation that I have to deliver at work, and I am terrified because this is a perfect opportunity where I might make a mistake. I might forget something. I might say something wrong. this is the moment where my rule might be broken. I might make a mistake. I've made this promise to myself, I must never make mistakes. And now I'm in a situation where it might. This is when the anxiety kicks in. The might, the uncertainty. If you're in a state of uncertainty, we don't like that, okay? Now, what happens in that moment is negative predictions, worry. What if I mess up? What if they laugh at me? What if I run out of time? What if I don't get picked for the next project? What if they fire me? I'm a failure. What if? The rule might be broken. I'm not good enough. I should always have someone to date. Let's say that's my rule. Because if I don't have someone to date, I'm not good enough. Well, what happens when that rule might be broken? Here's a common example. The person isn't texting back. The panic is rising because my rule might be broken, and I start to spiral. What if I never meet anyone? What if I've upset them? What if they've met someone else? What if? And here is the thing about this. You'll focus so much on the presentation at work and the person not texting back. All we need to do is go, I think my rule might be broken. I think my core wound of being a failure or not being good enough might be exposed right now. If we could tend to that, if we could put our focus there instead, and that's what I really want for you, the end of this workshop, that person who saved themselves 2 days in bed. This is what people get when they complete becoming secure. We're living in this anxiety and fight or flight without even realizing it, trying to meet these rules. This is not the life. We get lost on the thing instead of realizing the core wound is activated. So the anxiety is that when your rule might be broken, you go into worry and negative predictions. And let me tell you, that means that you overestimate the chances that something bad is going to happen. You overestimate how bad that is going to be. You underestimate your ability to cope. You underestimate the resources that you have. And that's why you feel anxious. You think it's because they're not texting. You think it's because you're going to be alone forever, because your rule might be broken. You're in a state of uncertainty, and your shoulds and musts, the world starts wobbling. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to overcompensate. I'm going to try and be even better. I'm going to try and be even nicer. I'm going to try and be even kinder. I'm going to try and be even more attractive. Or I'm going to undercompensate and I'm just going to avoid it altogether. I'm not even going to put myself in the position where someone could end things with me or where I could fail. So I'm not even going to do the presentation. I'm going to call in sick. That leads us really nicely onto the depression side. Because we're focusing so much on the thing rather than realizing what's happening, our energy just keeps on spinning. Now, the depression side happens when you really do just believe, I'm not good enough. This just proves it. That's what starts to happen. The thoughts become really critical. Why did I bother? I knew it. Of course, you're going to find something of how you failed. Of course, you're going to find a way that you're not good enough. It's the biased, negative perceptions that you have. So even you end up looking at things through this distorted view. And then you start criticizing yourself. Why did I bother? And let me tell you, if you perceive that the rule is broken, or if it straight up is broken, and what that means is, let's say you did make a mistake, you forgot something in the presentation, even though it's not the end of the world, spoiler alert. Let's say the person does end things with you or does ghost you, even though it's not actually the end of the world, spoiler alert. Rules broken. I'm supposed to always be in a relationship. I'm supposed to never make mistakes. Enter self-criticism. Enter that more, it's a different voice to the worry. It's more like, why did you bother? It's never going to work for you. Really critical. Where do you fall here? Let me know in the chat box. Do you fall more into the anxiety? Do you fall more into the criticism and the low mood? Or do you see yourself go through both? Now, sometimes we bypass the anxiety. If we really believe the rule is broken, we can bypass the anxiety and go straight to the criticism. When we withdraw, don't want to go out, Don't want to carry on with what's meaningful to us. Don't want to keep chasing my dream. Not going to carry on doing the work. I'm going to give up. I want you to take a moment and to get really clear. Take a moment with your shoulds and musts to realize, where are your rules breaking sometimes? Where is it you feel like they might be broken? And can you see the spiral? You see the cycle. You think it's because of you. You think it's because of this situation. You think you're chasing this person. You think you need someone else. You think you're not good enough. It's actually psychology. And we don't have to live like this. This used to be me. I didn't even contemplate that this stuff was going on. I had no idea. I just genuinely did avoid everything. I did beat myself up. I really would believe that I was a bad person, and I would overcompensate with that. That's the people pleasing. That's the protecting yourself. Okay, give me a like, give me a number 2 in the chat if this is resonating, if you're following me. And if you have any questions, this is absolutely the time to ask, because we're going to go on to the 5-step framework. So if you have questions, yes, great, Jenna. And which parts are speaking to you? The anxiety or the depression? A for anxiety, D for depression side. And of course, when we're talking about this, if becoming secure, what works is people who have periods of this, but mostly you are able to function. If you're in a state where you cannot function and you're feeling like this has been going on for months, you really may need to get some support for yourself. I think that's really important to say. The model that I use inside Becoming Secure is a mix of the cognitive model for self-esteem, which can be used to support anxiety and mood, and the somatic attachment work, so I combine them. It is still quite clear that the people this course really helps, my 6-week course, is people that are like functioning. You do believe that change is possible. It's all on the sales page, actually. You can see it. I've literally got a list there of who it helps. I'll put it here. Yeah, because I think it's really important that we know that we can get help. We don't have to stay in these cycles. Why would we stay in these cycles? Ask yourself that. For what reason would I stay in this cycle? Apart from so that I don't break a rule, so that I don't feel the anxiety. Well, I can tell you this, okay? It is almost certain that with this 5-step framework, you're going to need to feel a bit of discomfort. We can't do this without feeling discomfort. That's your commitment. That's what you're going to give in order to get the results, in order to get the confidence. In fact, what is it that share with me in the chat box? What is it that you want for yourself? What is it that you're craving? You desire? What changes it? Is it confidence? Is it to go for a job that you haven't gone for? Is it to express your needs more in your relationships? Is it to stop chasing unavailable people? In order to get what it is that you want, you desire self-confidence. So in order to get that self-confidence, I know you're not on your own. I'm speaking to many of you now. Your commitment, what you have to give, is to be willing to sit in discomfort. Because remember what I said about that uncertainty that drives a lot of this? Maybe someone's upset with me. Maybe I've made a mistake. The idea is we're going to stop, or at least reduce, doing all the things that we do to fix that. Because that's the thing, you've got loads of strategies. You have strategies to meet your shoulds and musts. if I should make everyone happy, if I should never make a mistake, then I'm going to have to work harder than everyone else. I'm going to have to work late every day. If I'm always got to be in a relationship, then I'm going to have to put up with poor treatment. What is it that you have? What are the strategies in place? And if I'm going to stop doing those things, stop the people pleasing, or reduce it anyway, reduce all the apologizing, reduce needing the praise, reduce checking in, reduce saying, are you okay? Reduce saying, do you love me? If I'm going to reduce all of that, I'm going to have to sit with something else. So your 5-step framework to take away and change your life today is going to look like this. Okay, first things first, think of an area in your life right now where one of your rules, your shoulds or your musts might be broken, where life feels wobbly. Is it an area where you think, oh, I don't think they're interested in me anymore? I think they're mad at me. I think I've upset someone. Where does it feel wobbly? Where do things feel uncertain? Where does that anxiety feel high? And then your 5 steps, I'll write them down with you. Number 1, and you need to write these down. Yeah, your 5 steps is about you writing these down. And you can do this anytime, any place. And when you do, you are going to not only change how you show up and change how you manage your mood and your anxiety. The research shows that anxiety, the worry, naturally reduces when you do these 5 steps. Naturally. And when you record it, when you get this written down, you're going to see patterns. So number 1 is, in this area of your life where things are wobbly, what are your anxious predictions? Write them down. What are your anxious predictions? I'm going to mess up. I'm going to make a mistake. I'm not going to remember it. They're not going to like me. They're going to be mad at me. They're never going to speak to me again. I'm going to make a fool of myself. I'll be embarrassed. I'll never cope. I'll never get over it. What are the anxious predictions? I'll never get to where I want to be. I'll always be on my own. Worst case scenarios, they sound like catastrophizing. What ifs? So you want to see them written down. And then number 2, this is going to take you digging really deep, but it's not going to be enough on its own. People do number 2 and then expect to change. And that is the mistake you're often missing when it comes to the head-heart gap. Becoming Secure, the 6-week course, is all about closing that head-heart gap. But in terms of this free workshop, I'm letting you know that head-heart gap is usually there. You know the thing, but you don't feel it or do it because you only do number 2. It's important, hence it's in the framework, but it's not enough on its own, which is, what is an alternative perspective? Do not miss it out. It's very important still. We need the cognitive side. We need the thinking side. So what is an alternative perspective from all of those worries? Some of you who follow my work might know that I love the kind of positive what if. What if I do well? What if I cope better than I think I will? What if I'm okay if I make a mistake? What if I forget something, but I recover brilliantly? What if it doesn't matter? What if I don't make a mistake? What if it goes really well? To pursue my goal and also build a healthy relationship. Love that. Great, great, great. Love it when you know what's important to you. So what's an alternative perspective? So first we can have just that fun what if, the really positive. What if this goes well? What if everything works out? You can also ask yourself things. What would I say to a friend who is having these anxious predictions? What's another perspective? Is there any evidence that I'm missing? I've done well in presentations before. I've made mistakes in the past and I was okay. What's an alternative kind of perspective to all of those worries? And what's a fun, positive, alternative perspective as well? Okay, so that cognitive shift, do the mental shift as well. But like I say, it's not enough on its own. So that leads us to number 3. What are the old urges and strategies? Now, what I mean by that, okay, hold on. What are the, write this down, old urges and strategies? So what that means is and you can listen in your body, it will tell you, when I'm having these negative predictions, what's the urge? Is the urge that I want to apologize? Is the urge that I want to check that everything's okay? Is the urge that I want to say, hey, why are you doing that? Is the urge that I want to not do the presentation? What is it that I would usually do? How would I usually overcompensate or avoid? So what are the old urges? Write them down and you can ask yourself, what's the urge in my body right now? Is it to avoid? Is it to apologize? Is it to overwork, to stare at my phone and hope that they text back? Is it to try to get certainty? Is it to research their history through social media? How am I trying to get certainty in this situation? That's the question. And these are the old ways. So we're only getting this down on paper and we're acknowledging and seeing and giving a moment to the urges, because we don't want to just dismiss them. They're not just going to disappear. They want to get in the driver's seat. So we're saying, hello, I know you're there. I love you. You're good, but you're not in the driver's seat. I know you want good things for me. You want me to stay safe. You don't want me to make a mistake because that's the rule we've been living by. But guess what? I'm the adult. I'm the parent. And that leads us nicely onto number 4, which is, what are you going to do instead? This is, I might as well call the new Becoming Secure the experiment, because this is what it's all about. This is the experiment. This is the experiment. What are you going to try instead? Are you going to not apologize? Are you going to go to bed at a reasonable hour rather than checking over and over and over the presentation? Are you going to allow yourself to feel what you feel when you don't have someone to date? What are you going to do this time instead? And you're going to do it. That's the experiment. Number 4 is, this is what I'm going to do instead. It's different to what I usually do. I've been following these guidelines and now I'm going to follow these guidelines because I'm taking back my power. So you're going to try something new. I'm going to go and have that conversation. I'm going to go and say the thing. I'm going to express a need. I'm going to do the thing. Or I'm going to not do the thing. Because just as much as this is about doing the thing, sometimes it's about not doing it. This morning, I have been doing Couch to 5K, and this week was the first time I've been doing it with my sister. I had to run 20 minutes straight. What do you think my prediction was before? Can't do it. There's no way I can do it. And it was raining. There's no way I can do it. Definitely can't do it in the rain. It's going to be awful. I'm going to have to stop. I've never run that. Well, I haven't run that far since before having a baby. I could come up with the alternative perspective. What if I can do it? What if I run it and I feel great? What's the evidence? I have run 20 minutes before. I did a 10K years ago. What's another perspective? Well, I've been doing the training for the last 5 weeks. Maybe I can do this. Well, what am I going to do instead? If usually I want to not do the run, I want to avoid it, what am I going to do instead? I'm going to do it. So I experimented, and so I did it. I did the thing. And that leads us to number 5. What actually happened? And what actually happened was the rain stopped. Brilliant. Absolute bonus. What actually happened is I ran the 20 minutes and I felt incredible, probably even better because I doubted myself. What actually happened is now I know I can run it next time. And actually, I was supposed to do a Pilates class as well. If any of you watch my stories, you'll know this already. And it was stronger. I was like, I can't do Pilates and then run 20 minutes. And the Pilates class got cancelled. I'm taking that as a win. I didn't cancel it. I was going to do the experiment. Didn't get to prove it. I didn't get to see if I could do it, though. That's a downside. But hey, sometimes things work out for us. I did the run. Now, what actually happened? You have to take this moment. You have to take step 5. What actually happened when you expressed a need, when you did the presentation, when you put yourself in the uncomfortable position, when you sat with the uncertainty, when you didn't reach out, when you didn't ask if they're okay, when you didn't seek the reassurance, what actually happened? And it's okay if the answer is it was really uncomfortable. It's okay if my answer today was I didn't make the 20 minutes. These experiments are a win-win. This 5-step framework called behavioral experiments is a win-win, because under our anxiety, under our sort of self-criticism is a belief that we won't cope. But even if I had not done the whole 20 minutes, I would have seen that the world didn't fall apart, and I would have been able to figure out what happened there. What can I do better next time? Don't have to give up. This is an experiment. This isn't about proving everything's great. This isn't about saying if I don't stay up all night, absolutely losing my mind, worrying about a presentation tomorrow, that the presentation is going to go perfect. It's about learning to live in a world where we're okay if it's not perfect. And I'm still inherently good enough. I still deserve friends and a relationship and a promotion. I'm allowed to make mistakes. It's okay if I'm single when I have a belief that I shouldn't be. It's okay if my partner is upset with me, if I believe that I should make everyone happy, especially my partner. Now, a lot of the time, step 5, what actually happened, you're going to see it was way better than you ever imagined. I had no idea that I was going to feel that great, that I was going to do that great. I was going to meet that person. I was going to have that outcome, that this was going to happen as well. I had no idea. It was so much better. And that's what happens with step 5. But sometimes what happens with step 5 as well is your resilience, your confidence to deal with things when they don't go to plan without beating yourself up, without it becoming about self-worth, without leading to, can we get to step 5 without it having to go into the depression side? Can we get to step 5 without having to fall into all those negative predictions? That's the goal. That's the goal. That's how we become secure. If you follow this 5-step framework, you will see a difference. It is very, very effective. If you need help with that, then please do check out the link to Becoming Secure. There is an early bird option there until next Wednesday, the 3rd. And I'd love to work with you, absolutely love to. And if this has spoken to you, go and look at that sales page, ask me any questions. Speaking of which, we now have a moment. So whether you're on replay or live, please do feel free to ask me a question. Anything at all. The 5-step framework, let's recap. What are your anxious predictions when you think your rule is going to be broken? It's kind of a 6-step. You noticed your rules, but what are your anxious predictions? What is an alternative perspective? Very important. You might have to dig really deep. What are the old urges and strategies? What will I do instead? The experiment. Make sure you do it. What actually happened? It's a win-win. It's always a win-win. People say, but what if I realised that my inner critic was right? And what? We have strengths. We have weaknesses. We make mistakes. Our anxiety and our low mood is often a result of these rigid rules for living. And if we can begin to be more flexible and reduce some of that, we're going to see a difference in our energy, in our relationships, in our ability to cope, in who and what we accept, the risks that we take, the life that we create, the dreams that we go for, how secure we feel, how easy it is to fall asleep without worrying. I really, truly hope that you have found this useful. Do let me know if you have any questions at all. And I think just that reminder for you, if you can see that you are stuck in some kind of cycle that we've been exploring, the model that I use inside Becoming Secure is probably going to help you. If deep down you believe change is possible, you're open to noticing and talking about your thoughts and feelings, if despite your struggles right now, you're managing to function and do things in your daily life, that you can engage with this, if you're willing to try new tools and practice them between the sessions, if you recognize that your role is just as important as mine, and that real change comes from us working together over those 6 weeks, then Becoming Secure is perfect for you. If your confidence rises and falls based on how other people see you, if you beat yourself up with thoughts like I'm not good enough, or you find yourself obsessing over every little detail, this is what we're going to be tackling together. You'll move through a really powerful cycle of change. We'll blend the cognitive model of self-esteem with somatic attachment therapy. And what makes my course unique is that we don't just give you tools that make sense in your head. I make sure to connect with how you feel, what you know, and what you do. I understand the logic, but I don't feel it. Okay, let's bridge that gap. Those old rules, the old wounds, you're not going to be reacting to them like you have been. You'll be given the tools to embrace yourself, boost your happiness, create the energy that nurtures both your current and future relationships. And the result is that you will be more secure, calm, and confident. Not stuck in that "this is all too good to be true" cycle. Thank you so much for being here. Check out Becoming Secure. I will put the link in the description. I'll be talking about it a lot before we start the next month. And I'm just truly grateful for you spending this time with me. And connect with me on Instagram, carly.ann_, if you haven't already. Let me know that you have watched this, and I will see you really soon.